3 abreast.
It is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got 'em for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It's MRN's Wing Nation Weekend, presented by Hefner Racing Products, setting you up for the big race weekend. We are glad you joined us, Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post, and we are going to talk to a living legend today on the program. Greg Hodnett going to join us. We're going to talk about a lot of festivities up at Port Royal in his honor, and we may sneak in a Knoxville question or two in there because we know Hodnett gets geeked up for it just like we do. So, Greg Hodnett joining us in just a little bit. Erin, when we look at this weekend, and I know a rain out played into this, but the All-Stars have 4 straight nights of racing starting tonight. I mean, man.
A mini speed week.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions are going to be slammed. And then World of Outlaws up in New York State, Ransomville. And, how about that? Going to run around the moat.
You're not kidding. The moat.
Keep it out of the moat.
Yeah, I almost ended up in the moat.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. 360 race, long time ago.
Absolutely. And then Weed Sport on Sunday. And the state-of-the-art weed sport. It's not your dad's weed sport.
It's not the weed sport I remember.
No, it's not the weed sport I remember. I used to go to weed sport every Sunday. I used to
really?
go there for the modified races every Sunday. We would leave Binghamton, and there was a fireman's chicken barbecue in Cortland that was unreal. I mean, and so we'd stop and do chicken barbecue on the way, and then up to weed sport, where I would get my Hoffman hot dogs and my fresh cut fries.
Funny that you remember the food.
I remember the food. I really do. So
couldn't have guessed that.
Yes, indeed. So great stuff. And I love, I need to get to Weed Sport. I want to see because I've just heard so much good about it. So World of Outlaws will be up there, and we'll be following along as well. As we mentioned, it is a Living Legends weekend at Port Royal, and when we come back, the living legend who will be honored, Greg Hodnett, he joins us next.
No matter what or where you race, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings has you covered. Built in the USA, HRP is the manufacturer of the original recessed rivet wing, including their premier Shark Wing series, as well as the new Racer Series Sprint Car Wing. Hefner Racing Products wings are available for sprint cars, mini and micro sprints, winged outlaw karts, and junior sprints. HRP is the leader in mule conversions, manufactures and sells a full line of sprint car components, including Nerf bars and bumpers, front axles, precision laser cut chassis building tabs, brackets, tubes, and spuds. HRP has the absolute largest selection of trailer and shop accessories available to sprint car racers. When it comes to setting up your trailer or shop, HRP is the choice for the best in trailer and shop storage and organization accessories. Hefner Racing Products. Visit them and shop online at hrpracing.com.
This is Steve Post. Join Erin Evernham, Ashley Strummy, and I live from the granddaddy of them all, the 58th annual 5-Hour Energy Knoxville Nationals, presented by Casey's General Store. Textron Off-Road Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, will be live August 8th through the 12th, 7 to 8 Eastern Time. Join us live from the Fan Zone at Knoxville Raceway, or listen on MRN.com, WingNation.com, and Facebook Live from the Cushion. Textron Off-Road Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, live from the 5-Hour Energy Knoxville Nationals.
Now back to the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, presented by Hefner Racing Products.
We are having a ball. We're so glad you joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post talking sprint car racing. Remember our friends at Hefner Racing Products. That's www.hrpracing.com. And this Saturday night at the Speed Palace, it's Living Legends Night. And joining us on the hotline is the living legend himself. Greg Hodnett's on the line. Hello, Greg. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
So now you're a living legend. That's pretty cool what Port Royal's doing this weekend.
You know, it is. It's quite an honor and quite a surprise, honestly, when they told me. I was very, very taken back and felt very awkward because, you know, some of the great contributors to Port Royal Speedway and sprint car racing, like, you know, obviously Kaufman and Paxton and, you know, Todd Schaefer, Deweese, those guys have put in so much time and so many accomplishments there that I didn't really feel that one, I was hoping I wasn't old enough to be considered that, and two, I didn't think I was quite accomplished or put in the time or the accomplishments that those guys have either. So I was a little embarrassed, and I actually kind of declined. I'm like, look, this is kind of weirding me out. And said, can you do somebody else? Because I don't really think I'm worthy. He goes, well, we don't have anybody else. I'm like, well, you kind of put me on the spot here now, didn't you? But no, it's very humbling, and it's very thoughtful for those guys, and I really appreciate it. But it is a little bit awkward, I'll be quite honest.
For sure.
Oh, gosh. Greg, when you have an event like this and it gives you time to reflect on your entire career, did you ever think that you'd get to where you are? I saw a really neat picture someone posted on social media of one of your first sprint cars, Argo Homes number 3. It was such a cool picture. But just, did you ever think you'd get to where you are, and talk about the early stepping stones in your career?
No, really, I never did. I mean, when I was in high school and first started driving, racing, once I raced, then, of course, the lifelong goal is, in the yearbook, they ask you what you want to do, and mine was professional race car driver. Of course, once you've done it, it's like, man, this is the coolest thing ever. I want to do it all my whole life. Realistically, did I ever think it would happen? No, not really, because I went on to college and got an engineering degree and figured I'd do something like that. So it kind of didn't really, it wasn't the real path that I probably expected, but I'm so grateful and blessed to be able to do it, and be able to still do it. It just, I don't know. I just never thought I'd be able to do it this long and have the I guess you want to say somewhat success that we have had. But just thankful and blessed to be able to say we were able to do it my whole life.
I think one of the really neat elements of this, and talking about your career, there's an autograph session going to be going on 4:45 to 5:45, but you're going to be joined by some owners: Mike Hefner, Al Hamilton, John Trone, Jim and Sandy Klein, and Bob Stewart. That reunion when you look at that and think about those race cars, that's going to be a magical moment for you, thinking about the great rides you've had over the course of your time.
No, and it really is. And people maybe that don't do this, either for a living or don't do it and haven't done it for a long time, it's really a team sport. I know a lot of times the drivers, they get a lot of the recognition, and there's great drivers out there, and they deserve it. But for me personally, it's always been a team sport, and I'm kind of only as good as the people that are around me. And for from when I first got here, Bob Stewart, with Lee Stauffer, we've had great guys that have gone on to be successful crew chiefs from that, like Troy Welty's with the 83 guys right now. Steve Sushi, he's been with Shane Stewart and Kyle Larson Race. I mean, a lot of guys went through there that have gone on, and then moving on to, I was with Hamilton, and I got to work with Matt Anderson, Tim Elwell, Barry. Got to work with Barry for a little bit there. So, I mean, and then you go on to Jim and Sandy. Got to work with Moon, then Lee again, and then John Trone with Lee. I've been very, very blessed to work with some really great people and some iconic car owners that have been successful with everybody that I've been with. So it's been quite a ride, and I'm very thankful to be able to work with all of them.
That's pretty neat. Greg, the race format is a little bit different. It's 2 semis, $10,000 purse for each to set up the A main. What do you think about this race format, and is it something that you like to change things up a little bit?
It's actually worked out really well. Obviously, if you qualify well, you get to start up front, but it's similar to maybe the Outlaw format, to where if you can race through, which we had a power steering line go out the last time we won it during qualifying, and basically I'm just holding on. So we didn't qualify well, but we started at the back of the qualifier and made it up through, started, towards the middle back of the race, and ended up winning it. Last year, there was a tire discrepancy with front tire issue with Lance and them, and they kind of disqualified his qualified time. And he went on to win the race from back of the qualifier and then the back of the middle of the main. So he got to move up through the qualifier. So I think it's a nice equalizer. I think the format's really cool, different, and I think the fans get to see a lot of good hard racing, because every position counts for not only the qualifiers but also obviously the main event. So I think it's a good format and it's unique, at least to this race in this area. So I think it's really nice.
Good deal, that's for sure. Greg, your performance, I'm telling you, I know you were running well, but Speed Weeks was just painful. You know, I mean, in virtually everyone there would have traded places with you. I mean, it's not like you weren't running well, but you finally cracked into victory lane the week after there at Baps Motor Speedway. How would you assess the where you're at performance-wise across the board?
Could always be better, but we could always be worse.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way I can describe it. We're close. We're not terrible. It's just, you know, we were leading some races and got passed by Lance, actually at 2 of them, and Kyle Larson at another. And I think Danny, and in one race we actually passed, I think Danny for the lead, and had an issue leading with 11 to go or something like that we fell out. So we're okay. I know we need to get better. It doesn't make me feel as bad when Donnie Schatz gets passed by Lance too. So I didn't feel nearly as bad after that. I'm like, even the best guy in the world can get passed by Lance around here, so I guess that's okay. But no, it is a little disheartening to know you're close, but you can't finish it out. So we're just consistently okay. You know, we ran, I guess, 4th at the Outlaw Show here the other day. Just okay, you know, top 5. I figure if we can kind of keep around, and maybe breaks will come our way and we can figure it out and get a little better at the end of the races. But, you know, we obviously have to keep up speed and have to just get a little better. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely could be better.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're too far off. You're winning Speed Weeks and you're running 4th with the Outlaws. Greg, once we get past this weekend, we got a big race out in the Midwest coming up, the Knoxville Nationals. When are you heading out there, and what are your thoughts going into it this year?
Actually, we leave on Tuesday, heading out for the 360 Nationals and staying for, obviously, the Cappy and the 410 Nationals. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting out and getting some lap time, you know, some time on the track. We're going back with I thought we weren't bad the last couple of years, but we had a different chassis combination. So I think we're going to kind of have to start over. I hate to say it like that, but we're just going with something a little different. And it doesn't like the same things that car and chassis did. So I'm kind of looking forward to just get on the track and see what we have and go from there. I'm not quite as confident as we were the last couple of years as being able to be maneuverable and pass cars. But you never know. Hopefully we can figure it out pretty quickly and make something happen. But I'm really looking forward to it. I know it's the biggest race of the year for sprint car racing. It's something that I know you guys have always looked forward to. And we're looking forward to having you guys there again. And hopefully we can be competitive and, you know, make Pennsylvania proud.
Well, we'll see what happens. Greg, prior to last year, you guys actually would run the Living Legends race, drive all night to get there for the Cappy Classic. Last year, you know, Steve O'Neill's kind of moved things around at Port Royal, and last year you had a chance to go out there for the 360 Nationals. You actually won your preliminary night, got to run the 360s, got a good night's sleep before the Cappy and all of that. How much different was that, and the luxury of being out there for the amount of time and getting the laps on the track?
I think it was huge for us. I mean, the whole driving 16 and a half hours all night and showing up, you know, dirty, the car dirty, having to change things over. And it's not a lot of fun, I'll be quite honest. So it makes it a little easier. Not that it's ever easy, but it definitely does make it a little easier to be able to come in there, you know, have time to think and digest what's going on. And then the track time, I think, is really imperative for guys that only show up once a year like we do. Anytime you can get laps, and then fortunately for us, we had quality laps in the 360. I think we ran 4th at the Cappy, 3rd in our qualifying. A couple guys, Schatz and Larson, in our qualifying night, ran 3rd to him. So I mean, it's not like we were terrible. We just, you know, but I think it definitely helped to make good quality laps in a car that felt comfortable. So hopefully we can do the same thing this year.
We'll see what happens. Greg, enjoy Saturday night. Have fun. I'll actually catch up with you. I'll see you Friday night. I'm going to be at Williams Grove. But enjoy Saturday night, the festivities. Of course, there's a big check at the end of the night. And then I know we'll talk to you along the way with Knoxville. But thanks for the time today. And congratulations on the honors up at Port Royal.
I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
There we go. Greg Hodnett, living legend. I listening to him talk about he shouldn't be in that category. He's lost
so
his mind.
humble.
He's lost his freaking mind. I mean,
I say humble, you say he lost his freaking mind.
I mean, but I get it. He's humble. Exactly.
Yeah. Saying he's, what did he say when he talked about his success in his career? The somewhat of success.
Success.
No, I'm pretty sure most people would trade places in a heartbeat.
There are maybe a handful that would maybe not trade places. There are hundreds and thousands that would trade places.
Yeah.
Hodnett's the real deal, and I love that they're honoring him. The Living Legend program to me is so neat. It harkens back, and I think I shared this conversation, with Ashley last week on the program. Howard Kading, when they did the Howard Kading Classic. Yeah. Howard, when Brent brought the idea, when the King of the West Series brought the idea, and Howard's like, well, I'm still alive. And that's the beauty of it, that we can have moments when these legends are still alive, that they can enjoy it, but we can enjoy it. I'm telling you, I am glad that Howard Kading is alive for the Howard Kading Classic, because I had a ball talking to him last week, okay? And I just think it's great what I just think it's great what Port Royal is doing. Okay, now there's a sentence that we haven't used except for a zillion times here. But again, I think they've done a great job with this Living Legends program, and no better person to be honoring than Greg Hodnett this week. And the guy could cash the big check at the end of the night in a heartbeat, too.
Yeah. Now that would be neat.
That would be
win
really
your own
neat.
Living Legends night.
Absolutely. So great stuff along the way from Greg Hodnett. As always, just one of the great interviews that we have here over the course of Wing Nation along the way. Let's talk a little bit about the schedule coming up along the way. World of All Out Craftsman Sprint Cars, we talked about this at the top of the show, going to be running up at Ransomville in western New York on Friday night, and Weedsport over in central New York on Sunday, and then on to Peevely, I believe. Yep. So for the Ironman 55. And then you know what that means.
We're headed to Knoxville.
Yes, exactly. So Arctic All-Star Circuit of Champions. You guys and gals that work this tour, I hope you got your rest. Because tonight, Thursday, if you're viewing this, listening to this, Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie. Friday night, Jackson Motorplex. Did you see that? Did you watch that video?
Incredible.
Jackson Motorplex, I am telling you, the racing there. That 360 race with Dominic Scelzi and Thomas Kennedy.
Awesome. I
mean, it's crazy. That may be right now the raciest racetrack in America. Yeah. I mean, it's just that good. So that's where they're at on Friday night. Roll into Knoxville to dance with Brownie and the McCarls and everyone else. We'll see. We talked on our Hot Topics about Brian Brown, Austin McCarl, Erin Reitzel. Yeah. Well, let's just throw them all together and see what we have here along the way. And then Sunday at 34 Raceway in West Burlington, Iowa. So, man, I love what the All-Stars have going on. It was fun last week on our MAV TV show. We had Tony Stewart in studio with us, and just great stuff. So that's good. King of the West Series. My boys and girls out on the West Coast, they're going more short track racing, Placerville, on Saturday night. So
your people now.
Oh, they're my people out there. I might go out and see them again later this year. No, I'm serious. I'm working on it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I am working on something to go back out to see my people on the West Coast. My people, exactly. IRA bumper to bumper sprints Friday night. They're at Langlade County Speedway in Antigua, Wisconsin. MOA sprints. They have the I-72 shootout, 2 races. Friday night at Jacksonville, Illinois. Saturday at Macon Speedway in Illinois. NOSA sprints. Now they have the Governor's Cup. The Governor. They have the Governor's Cup Friday and Saturday night. That's in Mandan, North Dakota at Dakota Speedway. Okay. Other 410 racing. Man, if there's not a 410 race with you, there's got to be one within a couple hours of you. Listen to this. Friday night, Attica Raceway Park. They have the Fast Series. Lernerville, Williams Grove Speedway. Saturday, Butler Motor Speedway, Fremont Speedway, the fabulous Lincoln Speedway. I'm looking forward to getting to Lincoln. I'm going there Saturday night. Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, the Living Legends race honoring Greg Hodnett at Port Royal, Portsmouth Raceway Park in Portsmouth, Ohio, the Ohio Valley Sprint Car Association, St. Francis County Speedway Raceway with the in Farmington, Missouri, and then Wayne County Speedway in Orrville, Ohio. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, they're Sunday night. We got more racing Sunday night I don't know what in the wide world of sports is going on, but Sunday night's going to be one of those Dirt Vision Racing Boys. We're going to have everything fired up. Usually Sunday night we're firing things down.
No.
This Sunday night we're going to fire it up because the national tour is at Mason City Speedway, Motor Speedway in Iowa. Regional racing, Friday night, Creek County Speedway in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Red River
One
region.
of your favorites.
Yes. Saturday, the Gulf South region is in Highland, Texas, the Battleground Speedway. The Frontier region is at Gillette, Wyoming on Saturday night. And the Red River and Mid-South region get together for a shootout at I-30 Speedway in Little Rock, Arkansas. So phenomenal stuff there along the way. I'm going to do, I'm doing Williams Grove on Friday and the fabulous Lincoln Speedway on Saturday night. So I can't wait to get up there and see my posse friends.
I know. You better get some good scoop. Talk to Hodnett, get some good engineering talk.
Yeah, I know.
Just record it this time.
So
Don't try to relay.
Happens. Okay, this is what happens. We know Hodnett is an engineer, okay? Erin is an engineer. I'm a dumb radio guy, okay? So I walk into the truck. You don't need to be ringing the bell on that, Craig. Just pipe down back there in the production studio. So I walk up into the truck. Hey, what's going on, Greg? And the next thing you know, he's talking about aerodynamics and shock packages and everything. Now, I know what Hodnett's doing. He knows I'm an idiot. So he knows he could tell me anything in the world, and I'm not going to run down and tell Fred or Dietrich because they know I'm an idiot.
You couldn't even repeat it if you tried.
Repeat it. Exactly. Enough with the bell back in the studio, okay? So I stand there, and I think, oh, my God, Erin would lose her mind in this
So he sends me a text that says, I'm getting all this great stuff from Hodnett. I'm like, yeah, what? Tell me.
I don't know.
I don't know. Some stuff about some tires.
Because I'm an idiot. Cue the bell. There we go. See that?
Like, press record.
I get in there. And then
it.
one time we had a rain delay, and Hodnett and Deweese come in and start talking about shocks. And they're like, they might as well be speaking Greek to me. I mean, it's just like a foreign language. You know, and they're talking shocks, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, my God. But they wouldn't do that around you because you'd know what they were talking about.
I'm not sure I'd know all of it at this point, but I'd be interested.
So it's the Grove in Lincoln, and I'm telling you, this sprint car stuff is just more fun. Okay, now, so let's say hypothetically you're not going to the races this week. My first question is, what is wrong with you? But we have you covered there, too. You can go to wingnation.com, and we have the broadcast calendar. So, and we even, because we care enough to do the very best, you could just mash the button and we got a link to the Cushion, to Dirt Vision, to Racing Boys, to Speed Shift, to whoever's doing it. And you just link right up. So you can just sit there in the comfort of your home, put on the clicker and go. Put on the clicker and go. And mash the clicker and go. So it's great. And that's at www.wingnation.com. Oh, by the way, some podcasts and some fun stuff on there. And then all of these shows are available on wingnation.com as well. So, and we're gearing up for Knoxville. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. It really is. Another thing I'm looking forward to when I go to Pennsylvania, I'm hoping to catch up with our boy Ian Moy. Ian does all of our video work up in Pennsylvania. So I need to give a shout out for him. And if you're looking for a website, you can check out with Ian Moy along the way. All right. So Ian Falcone. What did I say? Ian Moy. Ian Moy is the Penske PR guy in NASCAR. It's Ian Falcone. Got to get my Ian straight.
It doesn't sound right.
No, it's not. It's Ian Falcone. Now, Ian Falcone. Now, I'm really just running this thing right into the bridge abutment, okay? But Ian Falcone has got a real job. He works for a mozzarella company.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Mozzarella.
So, Ian, I'm sorry I got your name wrong.
But please bring
bring some mozzarella. So Ian Falcone, he is fantastic, and he's a great video guy up there. So let me see. Now that I've just ran this ship aground, let's get back on track. I need to thank our friends at Hefner Racing Products, www.hrpracing.com, and they've got everything: shops for your transporters, for your race car, for your they do those bulls that push the haulers out, those big 4-wheel buggies that do it. They make those with all the tool carts on it and everything. What are you laughing about?
Mules? What did you
Mules.
just call them?
I call them bulls. They're mules. They're bulls. They're mules. I think there's a lot of bull flying around in here right now. The mules, God. Exactly.
With Ian Mule.
I got my Moys and Falcones messed up. Now I got my bulls and mules messed up. So the mules. They've got the mules. We've lost Erin. we
the
have
bulls.
lost
I'm like, the
Erin.
bulls? What is he talking about?
Oh my gosh!
Oh gosh, that was good stuff.
Yeah, the mules too. Yes, go and go to www.hrpracing.com. I don't know if you know, but California, Pennsylvania, Knoxville. I'm geeked up beyond belief right now. I'm telling you what, this is the best life has ever been for me, and I can't even talk straight. So remember our friends at Hefner Racing Products, and it continues on with us here. Okay, listen to this one. Saturday on MAV TV, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right here in studio with us. And that is at 8:30 and 11:30 a.m. Hey, thanks to Greg Hodnett for joining us here today on the show.
This has been the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, brought to you by Hefner Racing Products. The Wing Nation Weekend Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.